Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, more supporters of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno are now backing Vice President Leni Robredo. After the shift in volunteer support and failing to secure the endorsement of One Cebu Party, Moreno's camp insists he is not giving up on his presidential bid. Ikaw Muna Pilipinas lead convenor Tim Orbos joins us live. And Baybay City declares a state of calamity after the onslaught of Tropical Depression Agaton. Baybay Leyte Mayor Jose Carlos Cari tells us more live. More members of a key volunteer group of presidential candidate Manila Mayor Isko Moreno have declared their support for Vice President Leni Robredo. The Ikaw Muna Pilipinas made the, quote, big switch, citing Robredo's standing in surveys and having a better chance in winning the elections. But another faction of I Am Pilipinas says they are staying with Moreno, win or lose. Moreno says he respects the decision of the Tim Orbos faction. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Ikaw Muna Pilipinas lead convener Tim Orbos. Mr. Orbos, welcome to the source. It's good to see you again.
Hi, Pinky. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your program.
Let's first clarify exactly your position on Ikaw Muna Pilipinas and the Isko movement.
Well, this was formed sometime June of last year to support to call for the presidency, aspirational presidential aspiration of Mayor Moreno, and together with four other individuals, we decided to put up I Am Pilipinas or Ikaw Muna Pilipinas. So I'm the lead national convener for I Am Pilipinas, and then when we found ourselves in the camp of Yorme, we saw a lot of other organizations coming in, and the task given to me was to form a bigger organization, an umbrella organization, so that we can coordinate with each other. And this organization we formed, it's called Isko, or National Alliance for Isko Volunteers. So yun po yung diferensya noon. We had the I Am Pilipinas and Isko.
Okay, because if we talk about Ikaw Muna Pilipinas, there seems to be a number of people speaking on behalf of this particular movement. For example, first, I believe it was the Cebu chapter and then eventually the Zamboanga chapter that shifted support from Isko to Vice President Leni Robredo. And then yesterday, in a press conference, your group also shifted support to Vice President Leni Robredo. How big is this group now supporting Leni Robredo as compared to a group still saying of Ikaw Muna Pilipinas standing by presidential candidate Isko Moreno?
It's like this, Pinky. First of all, I Am Pilipinas has several regional organizations that are attached to it. So that's why you have the ones in Cebu, the ones in Zamboanga. There are others, the ones even in Pangasinan. So they have their own decision-making process, and they can they have their own activities. It's just that we supervise them. Well, what happened here was actually there was a meeting that was done amongst all the organizations under I Am Pilipinas and not Isko, just to talk about what they would intend to do given the call for unification, which I did. And I was not in that meeting, but basically three of my colleagues who put up that group were there. And honestly, when they finished with that meeting, all agreed to join hands and push Yorme to give way already at that time. And I just don't like to, as they say, rock the boat. But we all have the following people of that organization that can attest to this. In fact, text messages were exchanged, and that is something that um, we have kept. It's still there, but at the end of the day, this is water under the bridge. Because anybody can make a decision right after. So probably they decided to push for Yorme instead of joining the bandwagon to push for VP Leni. Then I will respect that. But to say that there were just a few of us, then that is something that they need to clarify amongst themselves. There are several other organizations that were stopped from coming out by them, maybe without the knowledge of Yorme or Lito Banayo, maybe by just some of the ones in the group. But again, that's understandable. This is politics. We try to preserve what is there. But for us, our group, we move forward, and we won't be touching other people in the organization. We won't be calling on them. That is their decision to make. We have a bigger picture right now. This is bigger than us, and this is, as I said, a call for our country's future. So there are other groups, other volunteers of other presidential candidates. In fact, the whole public sector. That's what we're trying to reach, not anymore our colleagues in IM Pilipinas.
But if we were just first to speak about IM Pilipinas, number one, how big is the group? And how big
Well,
of this group
yeah.
actually supports Leni Robredo? And how big of a group is still supporting Isko Moreno?
So I can only, it's very difficult to give the numbers for one, people just come and go. But the last time when we had a count, and this was in December, of course, na Isko is bigger. So na Isko hit a million supporters, at least are off record, sometime just before December. I think na IM Pilipinas would account for I would say around 200,000 of the 1 billion. But actually, when we made another rough count, sometime February, March, we were hitting anywhere from 3 to 4 million. Really depends. That's the funny part that we found out. People would say they're with you and they're not with you. They will find them in other camps. But it's a big number. A big number. Safe to say that you're somewhere around 2 million for Isko.
2 million for Isko. Sir Tim, you said
Yes,
2
yes,
million for Isko movement.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it still doesn't answer my question. How big of a percentage? Maybe let's just not talk definite numbers, but yung in terms of percentage po ng mga miyembro ng IM Pilipinas, or if you want to go to Isko movement, how big is the percentage that shifted to Vice President Leni Robredo?
I would not give a big definite number, but I would say a substantial number of us, because they reached out. In fact, I found out yesterday, several calls were made to me that they said, sorry, Tim, we left already the organization as early as January of this year. We never cared to tell you anymore because, we just wanted to go out quietly, and we're now supporting VP Robredo. So I think what they should do, rather that, because I never really made when we made the call for unity, Pinky, we never made a count of loyalty amongst our fellow IM members, or who would shift. We just made a call to the public, because we weren't just addressing our side of the fence, but everyone else. So if I were in their shoes right now, I would make a head count of a loyalty check. And sad to say, I would have to say it also now, that we found out that some of the officers, and I'm not referring to the camp of Yorme, this is just IM Pilipinas. Some of the officers there are preventing other people from moving out. So that's very unfortunate, but it's happening. And then they can say, I'm just saying it, but we have people who can really attest that they were coerced into not joining our call for unity. And we have text messages even to me that they said that they will join and unfortunately they will not. But siguro nga, Pinky, we're in the middle of a political game. Ganun talaga. People are moving out and people are being prevented out. I think we just have to go through this until election day.
And let's talk about your call for unity, but we need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, IM Pilipinas lead convener Tim Orbos. Sir Tim, so let's talk about unity. This is obviously nothing new. Even before the elections, this was being floated already by some sectors. However, as we've seen it and how it's evolved, we have a number of candidates. You're calling for unity against who?
First of all, the call for unity right now is not anymore geared. It's not addressed anymore to the presidential candidates, but rather the volunteers and supporters of these candidates, because apparently our call for unity for them was rejected. Now, to whom is it addressed? The call for unity is for the opposition to unite. It's unfortunate that we have a united administration, all calling for the candidacy of Senator Marcos. But here we are opposing that call, and we're divided. So it's really funny that we call for all these things, this change for progress, to look at how our government, our country would move opposite to the direction that the present administration and that of Senator Marcos is calling for, and yet we're divided. So it really looks funny, and something must be done. Hence, our call, something drastic at this point in time, with just a month away. We're trying to rock the boat, and guys, let's move forward. It's not always honorable to finish the race. Lagi natin sinasabi, tapusin natin yung hanggang kamatayan, magsama-sama tayo. But for what? You forget the ideals that made you run or support the race in the first place, and that's what we're calling for.
Are you still hopeful that something will happen, some sort of unity will still happen before the elections? Because, I mean, yesterday's press conference, your hashtag was, ang tagumpay, if I'm not mistaken, ang tagumpay maraming kulay.
I am very, very hopeful that eto Pinky, and this is the revelation that I got in meeting all the people that wanted to support us. Apparently, I would say the ones who came out and you can see were just a few, are but what probably an eighth of the total number that wanted to come out and shared their sentiments with us. Why? They're very much afraid that because if BBM wins, Marcos wins, then they'll get the brunt of the administration, which says something. They are with us, but they will just keep quiet until election day, and that's a telling sign. Not to mention that the gap is narrowing between Senator Marcos and VP Leni, and not to mention that a lot in the surveys that were done, there were a lot who rejected to be asked of those surveys rather than be part of the survey. So there's so many factors that can affect the outcome within a month from now, and then we're very much hopeful. That's why we had to come out. It would have been easy for us to just keep quiet and just shit, right? Pero hindi. Then we're not doing our duty. So we have to say something for other people to hear us out, and then hopefully try to follow our lead in what we're doing.
But if we were to ask, and I have asked this presidential candidate Isko Moreno, ang sinasabi nga niya, he is the alternative. Kung ayaw niyo sa pula o ayaw niyo sa dilaw o pink, ako to. And in fact, merong tinatawag na silent majority. Yun ho kayang sinasabi din ninyo, as you mentioned a while ago, na natatakot or hindi nagsasalita sa ngayon. Are you certain that these people will go to Vice President Leni Robredo and not Mayor Isko Moreno?
Well, Pinky, no, yung when I joined Mayor Isko, the times were different then. We were looking at just the economy as a problem, as brought about by uh, by the pandemic and years of spending, global depression, and all of that. Right now, we're dealing with a more uncertain future with what has happened globally. So times are different, and the solutions that are needed to address such a situation is also different. And I guess people would feel that. So it's not just a matter of calling for dito ako sa gitna, mag-pink or red ka. The truth is there should never be any more a point of color because after the election fiesta is over by May 8th, we're back to our real problems and we have to work together. It's like this. Maybe other candidates, even Yorme, have sound government programs, even Manny Pacquiao for that matter, Senator Lacson. But the point is, who can beat Senator Marcos at this point in time? The numbers would tell you it's VP Leni. And VP Leni also has her sound program and her call for action. You may ask, why not Marcos? Nothing personal, Ilocano po ako, but I think before even going across the border to shake hands with everyone, I think what's important is really let's let the past be gone by having that sincere desire to apologize, acknowledge, and move forward. And people want that, and people, you have to be, if you are a leader, you have to realize that that's one thing that you need to know. So here we are now with VP Leni, and hopefully, we make a difference.
Let me ask you this. Who, in your opinion, is still the best presidential candidate? Is it still, let me be very clear with this question, would you still have kept your support to Isko Moreno had he placed number 2 in the recent surveys? Hence, because he did not, the shift to Vice President Leni Robredo.
Maybe the way to answer that, Pinky, is why pick number 2 over number 3? The simple reason is that we have to beat number 1, and then that's very important. Because for me, as I said, nothing personal. I think to move forward, we need to have an acknowledgement of the past, and right now we have to do it together. Yorme has a good program. I have to say, yung kanyang Bilis Kilos program is good. He has proven himself as well in what he has done in Manila. But unfortunately, we don't have the numbers. So sometimes, there are many requirements to a presidential winnability or an electoral winnability. And part of it is really having the numbers to win. It's something that we have to admit. And right now, he doesn't have that. As you said, there's a silent majority. But why? That's why I was calling for unity in the first place. Unity is not also about, who's number 1, who's leading, but simply what can we do together?
I am Pilipinas lead convener, Tim Orbos. Sir, it's good to speak to you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pinky.
And coming up,
good morning.
Thank you, sir. Coming up, we'll talk about the deadly landslides in Baybay City in Leyte. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.